Hey, work from homers, Adam Schrader here. We love bringing you this podcast, and thousands of you have proven that it's been helpful for you. But since time and online storage space aren't free, Naresh and I wanted to come to you personally to ask for your financial support through Patreon. Go to patreon.com/workfromhomeshow and help support the show. And we appreciate your support at any amount you choose. That's patreon.com/workfromhomeshow. Thanks for your support. Let's get to the show.
Forced to work from home by your employer? Laid off or feeling depressed at home? Do you want to make money working from anywhere? We'll show you how to do it from your couch. It's time for another episode of the Work From Home Show. Coming to you from their homes in Austin, Texas and Tampa, Florida, here are your hosts, Adam and Naresh.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Work From Home Show. Shout out to our homies, homeboys, homegirls, home trans, all the work from homers out there. I'm Naresh Vissa with Adam Schrader. Today we have the co-founder and CEO of Ajax Union, best-selling author of High Energy Secrets, How I Lost 95 Pounds, Kept It Off, and Have Higher Energy Levels Than Ever, as well as the books High Energy Answers, Questions Your Teachers and Parents Are Too Afraid to Answer, and the new book, High Energy Purpose, How to Be All In on Your Life and Find Your Truth. All these books are highly relevant to our work from home environment. And so I thought, let's bring Joe on our show to talk about his books and also talk about Ajax Union, which specializes in LinkedIn marketing. So without further ado, Joe, welcome to the Work From Home Show.
Thank you for having me here. So glad to be here.
Yeah, I want to start with LinkedIn, get that out of the way, and Ajax Union. So tell us a little bit about the company that you founded, Ajax Union, and what you guys do.
12 years ago, I started a company called Ajax Union, and what we do is we build marketing funnels for companies. Initially, when we started, we focused on search engine optimization for small businesses, but time has changed. And as time changes, we have to change together with the time. So
absolutely,
that's been something that we've evolved over the years as to what are the things that we offer. And now we're a full-service digital marketing agency really focused on building marketing funnels for companies. So if you go to most websites, most companies, they don't really have a proper marketing funnel. If people don't know what the marketing funnel is, we have a 20-minute webinar at ajaxunion.com that describes the marketing funnel. But essentially, it's a process that takes people through being cold, not really knowing you, to warming them up and then turning them into a customer over time. And there's a series of interactions that you need to have with people. And at the top of the funnel, that's when people are the most cold. They don't know you very well. So instead of just saying buy now or contact us now to somebody that doesn't even know you, what you can do instead is you can educate them and you can inspire them and you can inform them and you can build a relationship with them over time, get their contact information, and then nurture them to hopefully turn them into customers. So that's essentially what we do. We create strategies and build relationships with your audience. So, for example, if you have, let's say, a CPA firm, and most people that'll come to your website are not ready to sign up to your CPA services. So you can create a lead magnet, 7 things business owners need to know in order to make sure they have their books in order. And people will download that by giving you their contact information. And now you have their contact information, and then you could nurture them over time. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So why do you think, whenever you think of advertising, you hear a lot of people talk about, buy Facebook ads, buy Google ads. But the more I hear about it, the more it seems LinkedIn can actually be very beneficial for businesses. Why do you think LinkedIn's kind of become an afterthought for a lot of people, even though, obviously not everybody?
Well, what happened is LinkedIn historically was a place where people put up their resume and where you put up your business profile, and you only connected to people that you knew well, that you worked with. And they were really careful about that. But a couple of years ago, Microsoft paid $26.2 billion for LinkedIn, and they heavily invested in LinkedIn. And over the past decade or so, the social media landscape has changed, and people are much more comfortable with sharing content online and with building relationships with people through networking, using social networking specifically for that. And so LinkedIn has transformed into a content marketing platform, a place where you can post information, your connections can see it. It's become a very, very powerful platform that you can establish trust. And so when you're posting something on Google, you don't have an automatic audience. When you're posting something on LinkedIn, you have an automatic audience. And that audience is very, very powerful.
Yeah, and can you tell us, like, talking about funnels, we've talked about funnels on our show. We've talked about lead magnets and nurturing folks, but as applied to LinkedIn, because it seems like you specialize in LinkedIn marketing, how would you walk people through building that funnel on LinkedIn? And if the end goal is to get them to buy something or just getting them on the phone, maybe setting up a meeting, what are your tips?
You have to have a strategy. Most people don't have a strategy. So what does it mean to have a strategy? Understanding your goals, understanding your target market, understanding your messaging, making sure that you're really, really clear as to who you're talking to and what you need to say to them. So that's the first thing that you have to understand. Once you have that clear, then you can start adding the right connections. Most people have less than 1,000 connections on LinkedIn, but you can have up to 30,000 connections on LinkedIn. And so most people are under-connected. The average CEO has 930 connections. You can add hundreds of connections every single month, and you can build relationships with those people through posting, through engaging, through messaging, through having an optimized profile. And if you take the right actions, you're not only going to have a platform, but you're going to have more clients.
And regarding the direct messaging, look, I'm on LinkedIn. Adam, I think, checked his LinkedIn for the first time in like 12 years when we
No,
interviewed
that's not
another.
true.
Oh,
I just haven't posted anything in probably 12 years.
oh, you haven't posted. Okay. Well, one of the problems I have with LinkedIn, and this is me personally, look, everyone's different. I like LinkedIn. I was one of I don't want to say an early user, like not one of like the first 1,000 people, but I was definitely early in the sense that I got on in 2008 and it was a small community. And now I'm just bombarded with people who I don't know friending me, and then getting all these direct messages from people that seem so spammy. Now, you talk about in your different workshops and webinars social media direct messaging secrets. So, how can you send somebody a direct message without coming across as some kind of spam bot?
We teach our students the greeting, feeding, and meeting method. Most people are just going to spam you, and they make a big mistake. Everyone hates being sold. Like you said yourself, you absolutely abhor when people are just sending you random messages, trying to sell you something. Like, would you like my web design services? Would you like, all types of stuff like that? And what I always tell people is nobody likes being sold. Everyone hates being sold, but people like to buy. That's the truth. People love to buy. But they buy from people that they know, they like, and they trust. So how do you first build rapport with somebody? Well, start with greeting them. Thank you for connecting with me on LinkedIn. Or wish them a happy birthday. Or look at something on their profile and talk about a post that they recently posted. Like, have a really authentic conversation with them first. And then you can feed them, and then from there you can turn into a meeting. So just going straight for the sale is never going to work. It doesn't work in real life, and it doesn't work online.
Yeah,
Super
well,
transactional, yeah.
so one of the things that you said that I want to expand on, another thing I don't like, is when people, take like something from my bio and say, "Hey, I see that you used to work at this company. That's great. I really like this company." And then they go into their sales pitch. Or we get this a lot for our podcast. We get people who like pick a random episode, they listen to like 30 seconds of it and say, "Hey, I heard the episode with so and so. I love that you guys discuss this, this, and this." And then they go into their pitch about whatever it is that they want to sell us. And I don't like that, because you brought up an important word, and that is authentic. And even more than authentic, I think, is just real, like having a real conversation. So, for example, I'll give you an example that somebody reached out to me about. They saw that I worked at a previous company, and they said, hey, I'm a subscriber to that company. I really like their work, and thanks for working there and putting out good stuff, putting out a good product. And I responded back. They weren't trying to sell me on anything. It was just, hey, I see that you worked at that company, and I responded back.
The
I said,
problem
yeah.
is that most people lack the patience and the discipline to be able to properly build a relationship.
Exactly.
And so
Most people, yeah.
they skip those steps. And if you're skipping steps in life, then you're either going to get exhausted and burnt out, or you're going to fall on your face. You got to just take one step at a time, and the sequential steps to becoming successful without a shortcut through LinkedIn Organic is by building a relationship. Now, you want the shortcut? There's something called advertising. Use money, and you get the shortcut. The shortcut is using money. I also do advertising, and in advertising, I get leads for $25 to $35 per qualified lead that comes in the door when someone raises their hand, says that they need my services. That's great. Does that mean am I going to close all the deals that come in? No, they're just leads. They're not even qualified leads. They're just leads. Some of them are qualified. Out of all the people that click, most of them are not. But we're paying $25 to $35 for qualified leads, which is very, very fabulous.
Well, yeah. This is an important discussion to have because we haven't talked about this enough on our show, and that is, what is the definition of a qualified lead? And you said, these leads are worth 20 to 25, or you're paying 20 to $25 per lead. And let me just quickly lay out, what does it mean to be qualified versus unqualified? If
There's
you go
marketing
on the street,
qualified, there's marketing qualified, and there's sales qualified. There's a very big difference between the two also. And then there's a difference between a prospect and a lead as well. So I talk about this. I came out with a book this year called High Energy Marketing, and I discuss this in detail, the difference between a prospect and a lead. A prospect is based on who the person are. They're a prospective customer. They might not be interested in what you're offering, so they're not a lead. They didn't raise their hand. Then there's a person who's not a prospect. They just raised their hand. Maybe a 12-year-old child decided to raise his hand and say he wants to buy your product and services, but your products and services are only available for people over 21. So that person's not a prospect. They're a lead, but they're not a qualified lead. They're not qualified to work with you at all. So thinking about, just because somebody raises their hand, it doesn't mean that they are qualified, and doesn't mean they're a prospect. And just because someone is a prospect and they're an ideal customer, it doesn't mean that they're going to raise their hand right now. Maybe they're not qualified to do business with you right now because they don't have the need. Or right now, although they could use your services, maybe they have different priorities right now. Maybe they don't have the budget right now. Maybe the decision maker is unavailable to have a conversation with you about that. So I don't know if that was your question, but the idea of
definitely helps.
Yeah.
And one of the problems, this ties into the current corporate landscape working from home, because you have a lot of these older folks, even who work in marketing, who they grew up or they were working under a system of just get a list of phone numbers and cold call people and
smile and dial.
And now when we have the data, we have the analytics to qualify leads and to prospect appropriately, they're still saying, just go call anyone and everyone, and they're going to buy.
That still works. It still works in certain industries. For example, if you're targeting the restaurant industry, people are going to pick up the phone, and like a realtor, a restaurateur, they usually pick up their phones because they get reservations. A dentist will pick up their phone. But if you try to call any consultant, a web designer or whatever, they're not picking up their phone. Nobody picks up their phone. I mean, in many industries, they don't pick up their phone. But in industries that people actually pick up the phone because they have to pick up the phone because 50% of the time it could be a potential client, those industries, you can have success cold calling if you have the right pitch. Cold calling is a form of marketing. Cold calling is not sales. Cold calling is a form of marketing. And what happens is when you qualify a lead, both through marketing, through cold calling, or through LinkedIn, or through cold emailing, or through walking in a door, or through trade shows, however you're marketing yourself to get in front of people, once you understand the process of building rapport, the process of nurturing, the process of qualifying a lead, the process of following up, once you understand what goes into it and you take the right approach, you can be successful with cold calling. I prefer getting to know a person, like you said, like building a relationship with them first, so that when I do get on the phone with them, it's not a cold call. I'm not interrupting anybody. That's called interruption marketing. Interruption marketing still works. It's just very frustrating for most people, and you have to have a thick skin, and you have to have a lot of skill to understand how to do that, and it only works in certain industries.
Well, you bring up some very excellent points. I just think today, first off, you were talking more B2B, calling restaurants, calling realtors, calling web designers. But if the public, if regular people, retail is your market, then I just think not necessarily cold calling, but it's very difficult to nurture a relationship on the phone quickly. Like to call somebody today and to get them to buy your product. It
depends what your product. It depends what your product is. I'll give you an example. Let's say, for example, you're selling laundry services to the general public. Okay.
Yep.
And you're specifically selling laundry services to people on vacation in Miami Beach. And you have a list of people who are on vacation right now in Miami Beach, and you cold call them.
Yep.
You're very, very likely that you're going to get clients or you can pick up their laundry, and you could literally say, I know you're on vacation in Miami Beach. I don't want to disturb your vacation. Thank you for picking up. We're passing by to pick up laundry in your building. If you'd like to be added to it, we're doing it at half the price of what machines cost in your building. So let me know, and I can add you to the list. If not, it's totally fine. You're going to get a very high return on that.
It's a very good example because what you just brought up is something that's time sensitive. So once those people leave Miami Beach and go back home to the Northeast or wherever, the service is moot. They don't need you. But you catch them while they're on vacation. Yeah, that makes sense. You did your research and you qualified. You qualified the leads.
But even life insurance. I'll give you another example. Let's say life insurance, right? You're a life insurance agent.
Yeah,
if you
harder.
randomly pick, yeah, it's harder. It's more expensive. But if you randomly pick a list of people that to sell them life insurance, you're going to fail miserably. Everyone's going to hang up on you. But if instead you're targeting people that just had a baby, just had their first baby, okay? And you pick them up, congratulations, I'm calling because I heard you had a baby, and I am the baby life insurance guy, and I want to protect your baby, and now is the best time to buy life insurance for yourself and for your baby. If you want to have a conversation with this, maybe in 2 weeks from now I can set up a call with you. If not, that's totally understandable. But if you do want to protect your baby's life and make sure that they're taken care of, I'm your guy. I can get you the best deal on baby life insurance. Are you interested in setting up a call for 2 weeks from now?
That's a good. Okay, I've got one more case study for you because Adam and I both dabble in the real estate space, residential real estate space. So you brought up like brokers, realtors. Let's say, how would you not cold call, but how would you go about selling somebody who you get on the phone, you have never talked to them before, but they have some interest in real estate, they're just exploring, or, you can make up your own.
Are they an investor? Who are they? Are they an investor, or are they like a homeowner that you want to get an exclusive listing with?
Investors are they're easier to get on board because they've invested before, they know the process. Let's just say somebody who wants to get into investing. So if somebody wants
to get into investing, and I got a list of people who downloaded, let's say, a lead magnet, 5 ways to invest in Miami, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just get on the phone with the person and be like, hey, I saw that you were interested in getting into real estate. I'm actually doing a webinar next week, but I wanted to have a quick 5-minute conversation with you to learn about what class of asset you want to invest in. Is it more commercial, residential? Do you have 5 minutes to speak to me now about that? Because we do have some opportunities for new investors like you that have a pretty high return.
It's been a phenomenal interview, and the website is Ajax Union, AJAXunion.com, AjaxUnion.com, as well as joeapfelbaum.com. That's APFELBAUM, Apfelbaum.com. To all our listeners, check out our website at workfromhomeshow.com. That's www.workfromhomeshow.com. Like us on social media. We're everywhere. Leave us a review on whatever podcasting platform you use. If you have any questions, any thoughts about what Joe said, hello@workfromhomeshow.com. That's how you can reach out to us. Email us, hello@workfromhomeshow.com. And until next week, keep on working from home.